Hi everybody, this is Angelica. Thank you so much for watching today. This video is going to be about why we go up and then back down. And this is a kind of a more recent understanding that I have to kind of bring more awareness and understanding to why we kind of go up and we feel all these amazing things and then we come back down. And as always, I'm a firm believer of education and understanding. We don't have to understand everything because then we do close off the possibilities to the universe. But I do believe that some form of understanding of processes and what's actually occurring can bring a lot of comfort and relief if you're going through something that's really difficult for you to navigate. So what happens is that we're at a certain level, okay? We're at this level and we've lived that way for a long time, probably many years or probably our whole life if you're on the spiritual path and then you start going through a spiritual awakening. And then what happens is this spiritual energy like moves through you, or you get hit with this, new awareness and your sensitivity and your telepathy and your ways of sensing the outside world start to heighten, and you become more aware of things. You may even get visions. You may understand things about your future all of a sudden that you didn't know before. And you feel elated with that. You feel very excited about that. And so you're in this high state of understanding, and you feel like, wow, this will never end. This is awesome. So what happens is we have a set point, okay? So we have, let's just call it a comfortable place that we operate from. For all of those years, for a lifetime, we've operated from a certain place, from a set point. And whether that place was good or bad or whatever, there's no judgment. It's just that is what we are comfortable with. Not only are we comfortable with being in that space, but our neural pathways have been set up to think in certain ways habitually, and we are used to that. So what happens is we're at this certain place, and then we reach up with this spiritual energy, or we get blasted with the heart center awakening, and we move up, and we kind of look above, and we're like, wow, this is amazing. The possibilities of this is amazing. And I mean, this doesn't have to be like you get hit with Kundalini energy or anything. It could be as simple as reading a new book, or discovering something new, and you're like, whoa, I never knew that this possibility existed for me. So you are on a mission. You're like, yes, I'm gonna move into this new state and do everything I can to be in this place consistently, because this is where I feel my new life resides, in this space. Because once you've understood new ideas, new concepts, especially if you are going through a spiritual awakening and you've been blasted with this energy, you really realize that that feeling, once set in, you can't really go back, because when you're in that space of understanding and sometimes spiritual bliss, and it doesn't always last for very long, it could even just be a second in meditation that you feel completely aligned. And once you feel that, and you have felt that within your body and within your life, you can never kind of go back to that place and be okay. So sometimes people have spiritual awakenings and they go back into their comfort zone. I'll call it a comfort zone, or their set point, and it'll be too much to reach up and continue and stay in that energy vibration of that higher place. So they'll live their lives very unhappy after that. So it's almost like once you understand this new way of being, you can never turn back. In a sense, you've already started tracking down that particular road, and you must keep going. And if you don't keep going, what happens is you get very depressed and very miserable. It's why you go back to old habits and old ways of being, and you feel very uncomfortable there. It starts to be uncomfortable. So the comfortable place that used to be your norm becomes very uncomfortable. But it's very natural, and actually it does happen more times than not, that you'll feel that space and then you'll come back down into your comfort zone, because it's an energy thing. Your energy has to be in alignment with that new space, that new way of being you are now getting ready to be in consistently. So you'll go up and you'll feel it, and you'll feel all the wow. But that energy vibration is very high. And so for your physical body and where you're at now, you'll have to dip back down into your comfort zone every now and again. And this is a really important concept, because as you reach to higher levels, because your physical body, because your normal state, your set point is not yet used to that in all ways, your physical body, your brain and the way it operates, you do have to come back down for a little while and stay in your comfort zone. But then you have awareness now. You have awareness of how uncomfortable it really is there. And so you will start to purge your emotional, things from the past, or you will start to recognize how certain foods feel in your body, and you're just like, oh, this isn't feeling good to me anymore, and then you'll start to go back up and you'll recognize how good these foods feel in your body, and you'll feel great. But still, because it is not a predominant way for you to live yet, you will come back down eventually into your comfort zone. So it is good to always stay consistent with your new ways of being and to push yourself, but not too much, because it's a natural process and it's very normal to go up to that space and then come back down to where you're comfortable. And it not only, it's not like it's for no reason. It's happening so that you can have a really good sense and a really good awareness of how you feel in that space and how it's not working for you anymore. So if people could just go from one thing to another, that would be amazing. And it would be, I would want to know that formula, because it's just not really that realistic or practical. However, like I talked about in my last video, it is a good idea to try to stay in a positive mind frame and have an understanding of what's happening. Because if you are in a space of not feeling very good, and you have the awareness of, okay, well, I'm just back in my comfort zone. I've come back here to feel what this feels like and to possibly remove any of the things from my past that may still be here in my energy body, in my physical body, in my mind, in my emotions. And so it's just a process, and it takes some time and some patience. So love where you're at no matter what. If you're having a bad day, and if you're feeling like things just are not going your way and you'll never, get there, remove that whole thinking process, because you are already that. Okay? You are already all of these things. we're just kind of recycling out the old ways of being, and being on a spiritual path and being very sensitive to what's going on out in the world. We can backtrack, and it's important to stay positive even in those times, because we're doing a lot of work here. We're doing a lot of energetic work. We are changing the way that the world operates, and in doing so, this is not always going to be like happy, wonderful. It can be once you decide that being in that space of not feeling good and purging and darkness, once you have the understanding that that is good too, once you relate to that feeling in a way of love and understanding, then it becomes, all of it becomes good, right? So it's just about changing your mind about how this actually works and what's actually happening. And once you do that and you build the new neural pathways, they become dominant in the way that you think and the way that you are. So it's just all about awareness and, you know, being patient with yourself, and you don't have to move fast. Just be in the now, be in the present moment, and feel everything that that's offering you. And it's all a blessing. It's all wonderful. It's all beautiful. We are doing the work every minute, every second, and we can be very happy in all ways, no matter where we're at, no matter if we're in our comfort zone or if we're reaching up into the new higher states of being that will eventually take over the entire earth. So I love you all so much, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.